Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's time for another episode of At Week's End, the spoiler field. Look back at this week in comics, movies, TV shows. There's a lot of all of those things to talk about. From new comics and Superman Day to about 5 different large-scale ongoing television shows releasing simultaneously to massive movie trailer drops and more. We're going to be diving into all that right after this. What is going on, folks? Joined as always by Sector 2815 and Burke Nasty, aka the Purple Pod, aka Burke Family 54, aka Steve with the Sleeves, aka Sleeveless Steve, or Burke, as people call him.
Superman Day was yesterday.
It was. Paul, did you get out to celebrate Superman Day?
I did. I got a whole bunch of stuff from that. I texted you yesterday. All the stuff
You
that I had.
typically have a pretty interesting stories when comic shop day events happen, because you have a really cool LCS called Coliseum of Comics, which is a chain of stores, which they a lot of times will do really cool events where they'll incentivize you to go visit each location, offering different specials and give you like punch card stuff. Was anything like that going on?
They actually just ended one. They did it as part of the March Madness. It was called the March Multiverse of Madness. And so what they did was you would, if you go to each of the stores, you could choose between a DC punch or a Marvel punch, depending on which one you got. Once you went to all the stores, if you went to like 5 stores, you got a $15 gift certificate. If you went to 7, it was $25. If you went to all 8 or whatever, or 10, you got a $50. And then if you just collected 5 DC, you could also then get a percentage off of a single purchase of a DC product or a Marvel product. So, and by the way, they're taking over the world because they're now in Texas as well. So,
that makes it a little bit harder for you to hit all the shops.
It does. It actually said on the thing, on the sheet, it said, we are actively telling you, you do not have to go to Texas to get these. Do not go. It would actually be economically unfeasible for you to do this. So
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But did they have some kind of special reward for any brave soul that might make the journey?
They did not. You could get punches in those. Happy to punch your thing, but they were actively telling people, do not do this, because you will find it is not worth your time, effort, or money to do so.
So just to show how cool this shop is for doing these kind of events, they did one called the Kaiju Crawl, which Paul completed. And for completing it, they even gave him a challenge coin, which he actually sent to me. Like, it's a legitimate.
It is a proper legit coin. That is heavy as any coin you would.
Yeah, dude, solid as a rock, but super cool. It says Coliseum of Comics on it and everything. But yeah, so it's pretty cool that they do stuff like that. Like, we have great comic shops here, but they're all different stores. They're not one store with multiple locations. Steve, did you do anything for Superman Day? I know that you walk into ABX as you're not in Georgia, but.
No, but I asked Paul for whatever free Superman books I can get, and he threw it in my box. It's currently on its way to my house. I don't know when it's going to get here. I should check that really quickly.
Did you wear a Superman shirt? Did you play with your Superman toys in your bubble bath? Did you fire up Superman Returns on the television?
I actually don't have a Superman shirt, to be honest with you.
Really?
He did not deny the bubble bath allegation, though. Yeah. You don't have a Superman shirt?
Did you just stay in your fortress of solitude?
No, I mean, we were doing stuff yesterday, and then I went to prom because I had to work it last night, and I didn't get home till like midnight, so I'm pretty tired today.
It's been a wildly busy but wildly satisfying weekend. This is the first little string of off days from the Masters,
and they did a whole bunch of things as well as part of Superman Day. They kind of cut it in half, and there was a whole bunch of Supergirl stuff that was there too. Movie coming out, so.
Oh, I did go to Books A Million and to try to get something for my kid, and like all the workers were wearing like Superman outfits. It was pretty cool.
That's super cool.
And they had like Supergirl posters up. It was really cool.
I was about to say, I love seeing the marketing stuff, because we talked about it when the Superman movie came out, how strong the marketing was, and not just because of the effort they put into it, but the actual feedback, the response to the marketing. People were engaging with the marketing. People were buying merchandise from all these different outlets. They were wearing it long before the movie release. So it's cool to see that there's actually a genuine excitement for it and everything. So I'm hoping that we get another wave like that for the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie. We'll definitely see. I still think it's going to do around 650 to 750 in its full theatrical run. I know a lot of people think it's going to do a lot less. A lot of conversations about it. There's no way this movie doesn't flop, and I have a hard time picturing that happening with just the momentum of the refresh to the DCU launch.
I don't know what a flop would be, but my guess would be in the 350 to 400 range, to be honest with you.
That would have to be in the flop territory.
Yeah, and I think Jason Momoa is going to bring a lot of people.
I hope so. I mean, we saw what his Aquaman movies did, so I hope so.
The second one really didn't have that pull. Like, at that point, you had a totally disenfranchised audience, like of the general public, at least, that just weren't on board.
Yeah, but now you're going to get Jason Momoa. I mean, if you just take a look at the actor, you're going to get Jason Momoa basically in a character who can say and do practically anything. Aquaman really isn't that type of a character, obviously.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I just don't. It goes back to, I forget who pointed it out, but I'm a firm believer in the no real Hollywood stars anymore. I think you have a very small amount of people, that I think Brad Pitt is an actual movie star. I think Tom Cruise is an actual movie star. I think these people come with a built-in excitement around them because people want to see them perform. I think that Jason Momoa has fans. I'm one of them.
Yeah,
but
my wife
just
loves him
because,
too.
but just because he's in it doesn't. You know what I mean? It just people don't carry the same wave of automatic ticket sales.
I am not saying in any way that Jason Momoa would bring in the amount of people or dollars that a Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt will. But I think there are people who will go to see a Jason Momoa movie as opposed. You have other actors who, they're good, but people don't necessarily go out just to see them. If they think they're going to like the movie, regardless of if they're in it or not, they're going to go. But I think Jason has some built-in fans.
And I think he's probably the most recognizable name, the most household name in the movie. He's like the biggest actor of the movie. Now that I think about it.
No, I want to ask you guys this: do you think there's any way that a lot of Game of Thrones people will go see the movie because Millie Alcock is in it,
and Jason Momoa, both are
Game of Thrones. Momoa? Yeah.
I don't know. But that I think that goes to the point that I think that Mark just said is I think if Jason Momoa wasn't in the movie, there are a lot of people who would say Millie Alcock, who is that?
Yeah, without her House of Dragon, like that's really all she's done, right? That she's known for.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, she was in another movie recently in the last year. It was pretty good.
I got to tell you, like, if there's a strong fandom out there, which we talked about and covered with the Rotten Tomato battle between Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, it's the Game of Thrones fandom. They dethroned Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. It's still a weird place, the movie theaters, the whole market for going and watching theaters, because I go to the theater and it seems slow, it seems dead comparatively and all that, but you still have certain movies that'll perform really well. You look at the actual box office numbers and you see that they are improving year by year as we come out of post-COVID lockdowns and stuff. It's just odd. There's a new movie star every year. Pedro Pascal, Glenn Powell. And that's not new either. That's people trying to cash in on the new thing. My favorite one is when it was Taylor Kitsch's year. So it seems like back then there was like more people with more draw, more power behind getting an audience there. But Hollywood will always try to predict the next superstar and try to get them at a
John
good
Carter. He was Gambit. He was in Pearl Harbor, I think, or something. Or
he was in Battleship. He was in John
Friday Night Lights is his big thing.
He was in Savages, and this is like all in the same year. The year before that, it was Sam Worthington. He was like in Avatar, Clash of the Titans,
Clash of the
Terminator
Titans, yeah.
Salvation, all in the same year. They try to predict who's going to be the next big one and get some.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, exactly. Pop says, I think Lobo will bring in some fans. I do too. I think Lobo has that same potential to have that same draw effect that Deadpool has, where a lot of people will enjoy him in this form of media a lot more than they would if they read his comic, because Deadpool like plays great in the theater, but I don't think as many people care for reading his books. That's more of an acquired taste.
I definitely agree with that.
Speaking of, I mean, I know we'll probably get to this, but CinemaCon and the Game of Thrones, did you see the announcement that they're doing a Game of Thrones movie?
I just saw they announced like 2 sequels and multiple prequel projects in the work. I don't have specifics beyond that.
Apparently, it's going to be focusing on Aegon, and it's going to be focusing on the origins of the Targaryen family.
How far back do they go?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never read the books.
300 years. There could be more though.
So it was like without obviously without the specific date. So it was like House of the Dragon, maybe like a halfway point or something. Because we clearly see like Game of Thrones is like as far in the timeline as we get.
Right. Yeah, I'm not positive, to be honest. And I would just be guessing if I said it.
T-Dub said, I got into a feisty little online fight yesterday when I said that I thought Supergirl looked better than Spider-Man Brand New Day. I would agree with that. And I'm clearly DC biased to begin with, but Brand New Day looks like a jumbled up kind of movie to me.
Yeah, it looks like there's too much going on, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I won't have fun watching it, but it clearly looks like there's just
see it.
So and I'm gonna enjoy it too, I think. But one of the things that to me it looked like it did was it was the trailer was specifically trying to tell you, oh, you'll recognize this scene from the comic books. It was a whole bunch of the recognizables, from Tarantula to whoever it happened to be, it's like, oh, I recognize that from the comic books.
Y'all seen the post where they were talking about, like, it wasn't an actual photo from the movie, but it was a post going around saying, hey, look, the first picture of the gray Hulk from Spider-Man Brand New Day. And it was just a picture of Hulk from the first Avengers, just photoshopped to be gray. But that goes back to, I can't remember if we talked about it here on the channel or not. Because at this point, I don't mind talking about it, but I was trying to be very careful not to say anything about it. Because like I was made aware that gray Hulk is not the color of the Hulk, gray or green, but the fact that the Hulk is most likely going to be used as the primary villain for the Hulk, like another rampaging Hulk scenario or bad guy.
You mean for Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's kind of all there in the trailer as well. You have all these things going on happening, no real focal villain that's not like a mastermind type villain that like, how is this person going to fight Spider-Man? Kind of like this person cannot, like, Bruno Mannheim cannot fight Superman, but he can create things that can, like the fist fight wouldn't be against Bruno. It would be against like the people using his weapons, kind of one of those situations. But in the trailer, you see that Banner is not Hulk anymore, and he's got the glove on his hand, the inhibitor glove. So all it takes is someone to take the inhibitor glove or compromise it, and you have a Banner that can't control the Hulk anymore, which I'm sure you'll get that line of dialogue in the college campus somewhere where they're, like, oh, it's good to see you as Brewskin. Yeah, I use this inhibitor thing, but I'm having problems controlling it since I snapped the gauntlet or XYZ, which I think that you're going to get one more cover you'll recognize with the famous Spider-Man punching Hulk in the nuts, what looks like in the nuts, which he was gray for that. But
that seems like, I mean,
I feel the same way.
I'm not a huge Marvel guy, but they just did the Red Hulk. Now to do the Gray Hulk and have him, it's like, what, come up with somebody originally for these people to fight.
Let me go back to this. And so like this was like over a month ago, and I was talking to said mystery person, like, who's the big bad supposed to be then? And the person said they showed the alter ego in the trailer. Don't tell anyone I told you that much. It would ruin my career. I'm sorry. Who's the alter ego? I'm not saying nothing to get you in trouble. Assuming that is it Tillman's character? I asked because like he's in there for a minute. They said it's a character we've seen before, and he's air quotes here big. I said standard Spidey villain or someone from the greater Marvel universe. I hope it's not the Hulk. And the response was, "You're going to be very disappointed." Then I said, "What a lame route to take." And I shared the photo of that Spider-Man cover. I'm like, well, I guess we can expect to see this cover. And it says just and responded, haven't heard what color he is, but again, don't share this information. So apparently Hulk is supposed to have a bigger role as a villain for Spider-Man in it.
That's dumb.
Very dumb.
Sorry, I just got a new frame for this OA. I was going to show it as soon as I got it in here. I'm trying to put it on as we're live here.
Boy, I hope the leader manipulates the Hulk in an idiotic way. Yeah, to me, that just seems boring. Having the hand in here seems goofy to me. If Daredevil's not a major part, like that should be that. If the hand's in here, that should be your primary villain. But I don't know. It just seems all over the place. And then,
people said the same thing about Superman, though, too.
And it turned out to be that. But it doesn't mean it can't work. But I'm more biased to enjoy the characters of Superman than I'm biased to care about all these villains of Spider-Man. And I guess that's another difference too. It was like the Superman was more loaded down with supporting hero cast characters versus just all these villains. I don't know. I'm definitely going to see it.
Yeah, me too.
I think that Supergirl, just on a story angle, has a lot of potential because I'm a huge fan of Woman of Tomorrow. So that's just an incredible story to begin with. That if they play this right, it's kind of a layup. We'll see what they do though. Let's see what kind of OA Steve's rocking with here.
It's the one
that the Power Ranger one.
Yeah, but I finally got a frame because I was waiting for it to go on sale, and Dustin told me it's supposed to look like it's floating in there. I waited for a floating frame to go on sale, and yeah, $25 essentially.
That does look good. The whole floating frame thing.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think it turned out well. So
where's it going to go on your wall at?
That's the next question. I don't know because this is pretty freaking heavy. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty heavy. So I'm definitely gonna have to have some sort of anchor.
Sledge said frames are expensive.
I got some art in this week too.
They are. What's that?
So they got some art in this week too.
Let's see.
It's one of those weeks, huh? Oh yeah, you showed me this. Yeah.
Oh man, nice.
Signed by Martin Odell. It's a print. Signed by Martin Odell, who's the creator of Alan Scott, co-creator.
Hell yeah.
What'd he say? He said he likes the Green Lantern.
That's for you, Pops.
That's incredibly cool.
That's really cool.
You found out on mycomicshop.com, you said, right?
Yep, $25.
Crazy steal.
Now I want to.
In related news, I think that the people across the board seem pretty unanimous about the feedback for it, but we had the first full-length trailer for Street Fighter, the movie release. What did y'all think about that?
I thought it looked good. Not as good as Mortal Kombat 2, but I thought it looked good.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's. I mean, just like with actors, genres get hot too, and it seems like right now the video game, movie,
Minecraft, Mario, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
You know,
what's that TV show on Amazon with Walton Goggins with no nose?
Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks fun. I think it looks like an energy drink came to life, which is a little different from my previous thought when they did the teaser trailer when I said it looked like a Colgate toothpaste commercial from the 90s. Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. The movie I thought was cool to set it in 1992, the year the video game was released.
Yeah.
It just looks fun. It looks different than everything else coming out.
I just thought interesting that it's coming out the same year as Mortal Kombat, which of course it is because those two have battled for years. So
Yeah, I'm definitely more excited for Mortal Kombat, just purely on an IP preference kind of thing. I really enjoy Mortal Kombat games. Was never a big Street Fighter guy, I guess. I've played it plenty of times, but I was definitely a Mortal Kombat kid.
same.
That last Mortal Kombat, what I felt was like extra awful. I think that was one of the biggest letdowns for me for a movie that I can remember.
2021.
In my lifetime.
See, I kind of
Like,
liked it, honestly.
I was so excited for it. I was so hyped for it when it came out and released. It was during that same day at home as in theaters era and stuff like that.
It was, yep, it was.
And I remember watching it and I couldn't believe how bad it was. Like, it had the violent moments and stuff. It had little callback things, but from the opening of that movie, which was exceptionally well done, to everything else about it, it felt like a direct to video sci-fi channel writing, acting, but masked behind like multi-million dollars worth of production budget and editing masking. I'm like, this doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like an actual good movie that was made earnestly, and it doesn't feel like an intentional sci-fi channel movie like Sharknado that was made in earnest. It just felt it felt uncanny. The whole thing for me had an uncanny valley effect. And I remember like immediately me and new guy Ryan, like, we're just like couldn't believe ourselves. Now I say all that, and I have gone back and bought it in Steelbook 4K. It's in my collection. I went back and rewatched it probably less than a year ago, thinking maybe some time's gone by. I'll like it better now. I think I liked it even less when I went back and tried to watch it because I was still in disbelief because I love a good bad movie and my brain's not there. But none of that is taking away from my excitement for number 2, which I feel just as excited for it as I did for the last one. So hopefully the little differences are ironed out. I've seen some clips from it that look awesome. And
I've seen a lot of people talking about how like Cole Young is either going to die in the movie or they're just going to turn him into Scorpion. And I believe they're going to turn him into Scorpion.
You think he's going to be the new Scorpion?
I mean, they're going to figure out a way to merge him and his like descendant together, I think. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that they figured out that the idea of making a unique character just for the movies was a bad idea. Not necessarily because it was a bad idea, but because they made a terrible character.
Yeah. I mean, I like the actor. I thought he was good in Cobra Kai. I thought he was decent in a movie, but I mean, going out on a limb and creating a brand new character when you got a library full of characters to use instead was definitely interesting take.
We're going to make a Superman movie, but we're going to create this new character named Ted, and we're going to follow him in the movie instead. What? Why?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for the new one. There's some really, really cool looking stuff in it. I think that Carl Urban looks great as Johnny Cage. I was a little head scratchy at that casting, but seeing him in action, and I'm like, yeah, that looks right to me. I agree. It. What other big movies or show releases were this week? I know we have 5 different ongoing TV shows.
So The Boys is going on. I'm not a big fan of this season so far. Honestly, I'm ready for that show to end.
Oh, it turned on you?
Yeah, it's not.
I know I talked to you after the first 2 episodes, right? It was the memorable moment of the A-Train's little his story that when we were talking that you were happy that they gave him some redemption kind of.
Yeah, it just honestly feels like a chore to watch it now, to be honest with you. But Invincible is where it's at right now. Like episode 6 and 7 is crazy, especially 7.
I've heard nothing bad about that. I get people messaging me saying, dude, you have to catch up on it. You have to watch it.
Well, so next week is the final episode for the season.
Is this the last season for Invincible 2, or is it still going on?
Oh, no. They said there's going to be like 8 or 9 seasons. We're only in season 4.
All right.
Oh, great. Sounds like a lot of work now.
Well, I'll tell you what. Season 4 has been the best season of since season 1.
The Pops tells me the same thing. It's his favorite show on.
It's good. It's fun.
Paul, we're gonna have to coordinate when we decide to catch up on Invincible,
For
so
real.
we can recap it in real time together on here. We've done that with a handful of shows.
Been a minute since I heard real time.
And this is kind of like luxury problems. I kind of joked about it on Friday when we were kind of just seeing who was watching how many of these shows, but there's so many enjoyable shows on right now that you have to pretty much pick and choose what you're going to keep up with.
Yeah.
Because you have the 2 Amazon ones, you have 2 polarizing shows on Disney right now with Maul, the Shadow Lord, the Darth Maul animated series, as well as Daredevil. Then you have Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which all 5 of these are larger IPs with built-in fandoms and stuff.
Did Maul start this past week?
Yeah, I think it started a week before last.
Oh man, I'm behind.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought it started next week or this coming week.
I'm also behind, so I'm only good for 2 out of 5 of these shows right now. But to be fair, you can blame Sledge a little bit of that. Not necessarily blame him, but I got through this busy season, and instead of catching up on other stuff, I immediately started the Madison when I got an opening today. And I don't know if either of y'all have started watching that yet.
I have not. My wife said it's good.
6-episode limited series. I'm halfway through it. It is phenomenal. I put up a post saying that they need to go ahead and get the Emmy ready for Michelle Pfeiffer. Just go ahead and etch your name on it.
Wow.
Polish it off and
Nice.
Yeah, dude, it's incredibly well done.
Oh.
Get you right,
and that's Kurt Russell too, right?
Yeah, it's
not for long though.
It's just got that X factor. No, the premise of it. He's in all of it in every single episode.
Yeah. It's a little bit like, from my understanding, from what my wife told me, from what I've heard from you, it's a little bit like
it's really
Monarch.
cool how they it's really cool how they do it, because the premise of the show is her story of losing him kind of thing. Mm. But the way that like the storytelling is structured is like a moment of them, and then how that's translates to the episode. Mm. What this moment with her husband is the driving force behind the decisions happening in the conversations of this episode. It's geniusly structured.
So kind of like what happened in the Daredevil episode this week.
No, the opposite. I said geniusly structured.
But you have a whole bunch of stuff that happened in the past, and that informs the decision in the current.
Well, let's get into that. Daredevil episode ? What is it? 4? 5?
That was episode 4, I believe.
Now, full disclosure, I turned it off to do something else with about 10 minutes left in it. I hadn't seen the last 10 minutes or so, and I'm like, I might probably go binge watch the last few minutes before I start the next one, but I got the gist of it.
Do you? Something happens right at the very end.
Don't ask me that. That's the only gist I don't have. She dies. He cries.
Oh, he did more than cry. He throws a little tantrum. So,
well, that's what this.
One of those you think she's gonna make it and then she doesn't type thing.
Unfortunately for me, I knew she didn't make it before I even started the episode because of social media. Because as soon as the episode aired, all the rage baiter channels, the ones that scream woke about literally everything, even when it's not, they're like, Daredevil's woke because Kingpin cried. I'm like if this Kingpin, the Netflix Kingpin, I'll leave the Disney era out of it. If the Netflix Kingpin is anything, it's he's emotionally unreasonable when it comes to Vanessa. That's literally how they built the character in the Netflix era. So that's kind of goofy to call it woke because he cried. Like, he would have a freak out. Like, he would smash someone's head in a car door or something unreasonable, even in the Netflix era. But you got Matt trying to wander around with Bullseye and keep him from dying while you have the hospital, trying to go under the knife with Vanessa and save her, despite her being alive and sitting in a hospital bed before the surgery. I didn't understand the point of the surgery, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. See, one of the things that I liked about this episode, which hasn't really happened in the other episodes, at least in the Disney era anyway, was this one kind of really delves into Matt's religion, and he delves into what does mercy mean, what does forgiveness mean, who deserves mercy, who deserves forgiveness. So it delves into his Catholic roots a little bit more, and which is, I mean, it's I've been played up more times than others in his history, but it's a huge part of his character. Um, so it really kind of, to me, that kind of, I really enjoyed that part of this episode.
Yeah, I definitely want to have this conversation because this is not to bounce back and forth on topics, but T-Dubs gave the Madison a 6, over the top emotional cheesiness and blah, blah, blah. City life is bad. My husband is dead, so I can be horrible to everyone. And this is going to be like such a fun conversation that this show will give off. And I said, that's the point, that she was horrible to everyone her whole life, hence the change. So what the Madison does very, very craftily, and like that, as I'm watching it, I knew people would have this knee-jerk reaction to say like that she's being mean to these people. So Michelle Pfeiffer and her husband come from nothing but became wealthy before the show ever starts. And they led one of those lives where their kids didn't have to want for anything ever. They have 2 kids. One is divorced with 2 children. One is married. And even the grandchildren obviously never had to want for anything. And they get into those dynamics between Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell, how they approach some situations, some forks in the roads at their kids' life, and how those decisions didn't help their children become better people. It kind of had the opposite effect by like not being a safety net for them, but not allowing them to even fall, kind of thing. And that's what it's getting into. It's getting into a lot of nature versus nurture stuff. It's getting into like this perspective of like, and the lines even used one time like, oh my goodness, it must be super convenient to be right all the time, like, and it gets into that. And it's not a situation of being bad to people all of a sudden. It's realizing that you have failed these people. The term toxic positivity that bounce around, you can be nice to a fault. Like, people pleasing can be a problem. When people say, oh, if you love them, you would let them do that. That's not how love works. Love isn't allowing someone to do something. It's telling them that they're being harmful or they're wrong because you love them and you're willing to have that fight. You're not willing to let them hurt themselves. They unfortunately let their kids grow up and be the people that are now incapable of being good people. And she does a hard 180, and it can come off as she's being horrible to everyone, but she's not. She's calling balls and strikes for the literal first time in her life. It's really cool. And it causes me to pause, like, ooh, who's right in this situation? Is she being too rough? Could she handle this more tactfully? Sure. But that's what got him to this point. It also has a truly criminal sin of being boring as hell and repetitive. 6 episodes. That'll be a taste thing. It hasn't been boring for 1 second for me, dude. I couldn't stop watching it. Like, I'm hooked.
I gotta go turn off the sprinkler. Hold on.
I dare you. All right, hold, Paul.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on. But yeah, back to Daredevil.
The other thing that I liked about Daredevil, it was kind of a wink, wink, a nod to that whole Sopranos scene that they did. I don't know if you got into that yet.
I don't know. I've watched Sopranos. I like that show.
The whole episode where the girlfriend is driven out into the woods by exactly,
by
and
Paulie.
Exactly, by Paulie, and it's kind of a wink, wink, nod, nod, because it's actually James Gandolfini's son, who is the person that is actually the focus here in this thing. So it was, some people may say, yeah, it was kind of, you lifted it too much, but I thought it was kind of like, hey, it's kind of funny, so I kind of enjoyed that.
I'm kind of torn in the middle with him as an actor because I like the idea of James Gandolfini's son carrying the torch, but he's a terrible actor.
Yeah.
Like, like it's an actor's only job is to convince us they're this other person, act like this person. And there's nothing about any word he says that doesn't sound as completely like high school theater level acting to me.
Yeah. And, he talks like he's got a mouth full of rocks.
He does, doesn't he? He can't really articulate very well. Yeah, they did the scene play for play with his son, the Buck in the Wood scene. How many episodes left this season? It's 8 episode season.
I think so, but I'm not.
I'm excited to get through it because I'm very excited for the Punisher one shot.
Yeah, so whenever May 12th, I think, is when the Punisher one comes out. So
we got a good bit of stuff for a while here. Where would you rank this season of Daredevil amongst the rest of it? Oh, that makes sense, C-Dub. There we go.
yeah. It was, I mean, against the rest of the, I don't think they've come close to what they did on Netflix, but it is heads and shoulders above what they did in season 1.
Yeah, great improvement. I'm wondering how much of it is like actually an improvement, or if it's just like, okay, we know we already knew what we're going to expect now because they gave us that last season, and this one just because the nature of the story. If you look at it as one big season, like Born Again is just one thing, because it is pretty smooth into the second season. I'm not too sure how much is actual improvements versus there's enough going on that it's just like okay, just not as boring. And like you pointed out, the ultimate number one thing is the fact that Daredevil's in it, because we're in this like underground resistance era. He's able to be in the Daredevil suit, which looks fantastic in all black, by the way. Yeah, the story set there. Yeah, that's a good way to look. The story setup that was done in season 1 has definitely made it where they don't have to spend a lot of time with it in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, are you keeping up with Daredevil?
I watched season 1 and I thought it was just okay.
Yeah.
Season 2 I've not started yet, but I
mean, what's interesting is that it doesn't bother. It's not bothersome, like it used to be bothersome, like, oh, I gotta watch this. Now it's just like, yeah, I've watched the
right. And I did not watch any of the Daredevil on Netflix. The only Netflix Marvel show I watched was Punisher, which was fantastic.
No, Daredevil's even better.
That's what I've heard. Heard, but I've not watched any of it.
I really enjoyed Punisher. The best Punisher that we've television, John Bernthal Punisher we've gotten, in my opinion, was when he was in Daredevil. Like
that's what I heard.
Yeah, and that's not taking anything away from his series. It's just like what happens with his rollout and everything, and that rooftop fight scene and some of the conversations him and Matt have, and the prison scene, and just with him and Kingpin. Just there's some really, really great stuff in there.
I heard that scene where like Frank figures out that Matt Murdock knows who he is, or he knows who Matt Murdock is now, like when he's in when he's testifying. So
testify.
Yeah.
Y'all ready to talk about the big topic?
What's that?
The biggest topic I can think of. It's none other than Godzilla. We have two massive Godzilla things to talk about today. One being the obvious next episode of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, but Godzilla -0 trailer finally dropped, releasing November 6, 2026 on Finn's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
They had a big Tuesday. They dropped the trailer for it. It like aired right at 7 p.m. And we were able to walk out of karate's class and watch the live premiere of the trailer in the car with the car speakers going. And it was incredible. We immediately drove right around the way to my wife's job and went in to say hey to her and sat down and let her watch the trailer. So
nice.
it was a big deal. But it was just a teaser trailer, and that teaser trailer did more to hype me up than I think any other trailer I've seen at all this year. We got a shot of our main title character from the first film returning. It's a direct sequel that takes place 2 years after the events of the last movie. The city's still in ruin. You get a shot of our hero pilot from the first film flying through the air in this with this blue electricity in the air, flying between debris of buildings and rubble that's floating in the sky. We have no clue what's making it float, what the blue energy is. Then you get a shot of Godzilla emerging out of the water, looking bigger and with more dorsal fins and spikes than previously. But then at the end, you get this little teaser where you see the Statue of Liberty and Godzilla walking by it, which just that was one way to tease it right there. So apparently he's going international.
Right. He's coming to America.
Coming to America.
He kind of reminds me of like the T-Rex in like the Jurassic World or movie, Jurassic Park movies, whereas like the T-Rex is like definitely a villain. Like sometimes, depending on the movie, they can make him kind of like an anti-hero.
Oh yeah. How they had to fight the Indominus Rex and stuff.
Yeah. And that's not the first time they've done that in the Jurassic Park films, you know. So, and I know obviously, you know, have we seen him on the show and then in other movies? Like most of the time he's a villain, but sometimes he can be a hero.
I get that joke. So where's y'all's excitement level for -0? Paul, I know you saw -1 in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, did you see -1 yet at all?
I have not. I need to go back and watch all of them because I mean I've seen Godzilla versus Kong, whatever 2021.
It's just totally separate from all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's in its own place.
Yeah, you don't have to watch any MonsterVerse stuff. You don't have to watch any of the originals. What -1 is, it's an actual remake of the very first. This is a remake of the very first Godzilla. That came out in 1954. This one takes place in 1945.
Something like that.
48.
World War II.
Anyway. Yeah, it takes place
like
before
the other one. Then is what you're saying?
Yeah. So they did a remake of the first Godzilla and completely changed it. This is the new Godzilla #1. So the movie that's coming out later this year, -0, is Godzilla 2.
Gotcha.
So you don't, and what they've done, it's literally the best Godzilla movie that's ever been made. It might not be your favorite, but it won an Academy Award. It'll shock you because the strongest part of the whole movie is the actual human story. You had entire theaters crying at the end of this. Like I cried, my wife cried. Like and she doesn't watch like foreign films and stuff. And we're sitting in a theater reading a movie, and she's sitting there wiping tears from her eyes and stuff. It's an incredible story of like the human perseverance. Like it's crazy, and Godzilla is just a backdrop.
And it was made for 1/10 of what other Godzilla movies are.
Yeah, the budget for it is $15 million, and it won for visual effects that year at the Oscars.
Jeez,
they kind of dunked on Hollywood.
I've not seen most Godzilla movies, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly, Mike. It's like the Dark Knight of the Godzilla movies.
Okay.
Real world take on the idea, 100%. Minus is a great movie. Even the wifey loved it. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, dude, it's on Netflix, I think, and
that's what I heard.
I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I strongly recommend watching it in the original language where you read the subtitles, because what happens after a little while, and I'm not a fan of reading subtitles for most things, but what happens is the performances in it are so good, like that when you're reading it, you're still going to be hearing the emotion in this person's voice, and it kind of just blends, and you'll properly have conveyed the proper performances that were put into this movie that way. I've watched it numerous times dubbed as well. The dubbing is really well done too. But yeah, either way that works for you, kind of thing. Straight
I'm not
9
a
out of 10.
huge fan of dubbing, to be honest with you. So I would probably watch it with the subtitles, but you know,
yeah,
who knows?
And it's not like it's like there's a lot of like sitting in the emotions kind of thing with the movie. It's not like it's not Shakespeare, you know what I mean? This isn't
right.
This isn't written by Todd McFarlane. There's not 10 miles long of dialogues and scene kind of thing.
Right.
A very visual storytelling style movie, even without the Godzilla stuff, because it's in the wake of like big bombs being dropped over there. So there's a lot of feeling what you're seeing kind of storytelling happening. But it's incredibly done. I cannot wait. So I wish I had the little side-by-side pictures. The shot of Godzilla next to the Statue of Liberty, he looks just like he did in the first film. But the shot of him that's actually part of the thumbnail, popping up out of the water behind this plane trying to take off on the ocean, he's clearly bigger and has spikes on his shoulders and everything. And the speculation is that there's potentially more than one Godzilla, and he'll be fighting against another one, because how it showed him, what it showed after the credits in the first one. Maybe there's more than one. Or the other theory was that, and I don't remember if this came from a confirmed leak or what, that there's another kaiju that has been dormant that awakens from one of the mountains in the area that he's having to deal with. A lot of people, myself included, want it to be Anguirus, which would track with remaking Godzilla films. We would need Anguirus next.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another Godzilla because we know that Titans can have babies.
What is Godzilla, a woman or a man? You know?
Well, Godzilla in the American version was asexual and just had that reptile feature where it just laid and self-fertilized eggs.
I was trying to shamelessly move into the series.
Yeah, Mike's thinking Anguirus as well. I think it would be cool. Oh, yeah, let me see if I can pull this thing up. It's already on the other tab. This is the actual shot of him when he pops up out of the water right there, and it's pretty quick too. That's like the kind of revealer shot of the trailer. But he's definitely
he's on
bigger,
steroids.
Meteor. He's got the spikes
too.
the spikes on the arm was like the first thing that I noticed. I'm like, holy potatoes!
Like absolute Batman out there.
Yeah, and we're seeing him compared to a much larger plane right here too, because in the previous film, that fighter plane crashed into his face. Remember, where it parked its car right in his mouth. This plane it's 4-prop plane, and it's so yeah, that's a wicked shot right there. There's a comparison from -1 up top and -0 below it, so you can clearly see the extra fins on his shoulders and stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's Gamera. Dude, that would be it. That would be the move. I firmly believe that that's what the MonsterVerse needs to do. I would like to see that more than Toho, because the MonsterVerse has to create a lot of their own Titans and stuff. Otherwise, they have to license them from Toho, and they have to spend next level amount of money to get characters like Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra. But maybe you could get Gamera for cheaper, and that's a character that massive fan base isn't being used right now. And I think that this would be such a massive fandom move if they get Zilla, the American Godzilla, and work him in there as a separate alternative Godzilla character, as another Titan lizard, it tunnels like it does in the movie and in the animated show. I think that would be awesome.
So not like Getsuki?
No, definitely not. There's little dragon wings flying around.
There he is in the bottom right hand corner there against.
Yep. And see that's definitely doesn't look like the one that popped up out of the water.
Mm-hmm. And depending on the angle, yes, it looks like it's the same height here, but I mean, not saying that it actually is though. It could be smaller, just right now it could be the same height as the the armpit, so you never know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has all the spikes as the other one. I know we're looking at a chest shot, but I don't know. I'm excited. I'm glad that the teaser trailer was just that. It was just a teaser. Yeah, look at man.
Although was it in Godzilla -1 or was it in the Monarch where some of the spikes actually came out of him?
That's in -1. That in this clip right here.
Right. So maybe it is him, but for some reason it caused whatever is happening there with the plane causes more spikes to come out of him.
It could be. Yeah, that could be the finale of the film or something.
Right.
Yeah, this is where he's he's really messed up right here.
Juiced up.
According to CinemaCon attendees, the Godzilla -0 footage includes a segment where Rodan fights Godzilla and is killed after 10 seconds. I don't believe that for 1 second. Oh, it says the name of this page is Kaiju Shit Posting. That tracks. That tracks. Jeez, yeah, those are new spikes. It looks like. Good grief. Even on his back, he looks like he has more and bigger ones.
It could be a different one, like you said.
favorite
Also
favorite
just be like,
theory that I
hey,
heard.
we want to redesign, like the Power Rangers costumes. Let's just
Yeah.
redesign.
And that's part of the appeal too with Godzilla, right? Seeing how he's a little bit different every movie. They've done it in the MonsterVerse, even doing the evolved version. That's another thing. Godzilla Supernova or Godzilla X Kong Supernova that comes out next year didn't get any footage shown at CinemaCon. They just showed the logo, the title, Godzilla X Kong Supernova, as part of their sizzle reel and everything. I've posted some stuff, just like pictures of things that have confirmed come out of that we know about. We know Space Godzilla's in it. Like people were wondering that, like that was speculated just based off the name, but Space Godzilla is going to be a primary bad guy, and I think at this point it's almost confirmed that the Beast Glove technology Kong has, there's going to be more of that technology for Kong in this movie, which is for some people there's a little bit of pushback on, but for me, like the legendary stuff right now is very much so where like the Showa era of Godzilla was, like the Jet Jaguar era, the Godzilla sliding on his tail era, or like using his atomic breath to blow himself through the air. It's kind of like a modern version of that where they're doing more fantastical things. Because keep in mind, they built an entire metal Godzilla already. We've already got Mecha Godzilla, so it's not a stretch at all for Kong to have the Beast Glove or something like that. But it still just gives it this level of fantasy that I think some people aren't as big of a fan of, is the grounded feel that you had in like the first Godzilla or King of the Monsters. But that's just part of the franchise. Goes one way for a little bit, bounces back the other way. We get -0. Monarch is pretty well grounded. And this was a massive week for that.
Yes.
I mean, I like the episode, especially the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes were gnarly, dude.
It was insane. This was the episode that we were waiting on.
What do you guys think about Kate? Do you think it's right that she's trying to save this thing, or should we say F that kaiju since it killed her dad?
So I'm on team F that kaiju. And
Same.
I was torn for a little while, not torn now. Like we had the whole reveal that Titan X has a natural migrating pattern. That's what they kind of been looking into, trying to find it, trying to track it through this season. Discovering Bill's map was crucial in learning that it has this migrating pattern, and it's confirmed that it's off that migrating pattern. That's why it's making contact with people. It's existed for thousands of years with no fatalities under its belt because it's not naturally aggressive at all. And they just need to get it back on track, and it can be saved, and harmony kind of thing.
And it's just trying to save its baby.
It's trying to make one.
We don't need more monsters.
Yeah, that whole scene with it on the beach was flipping awesome, setting up little nests and everything.
Oh, dude, that was everything right there.
Yo, when he pulled up on shore, it was nuts. Man, I like that the build up was perfectly done. How they just cut to the somewhere in the South Pacific.
Right.
And you go down into the water. We go into his lair, which looks like his same lair from King of the Monsters, and just his eye open, like, oh, it's worked. But we got Kurt Russell trying to use the little psionic device to call to Godzilla to draw him to Titan X and let Godzilla handle this issue. We have Kate and Keiko trying to discover the migratory path and figure out how we can get it back on track. So you got them wanting to save it. Got Monarch running around trying to do damage control after losing track of it and getting kneecapped by Apex. It was a fast-paced episode. It was a good one, and it ultimately led to a really, really wicked battle.
Absolutely.
Did you see who wrote that episode?
Who?
Marika Tamaki.
You're kidding me.
No.
I thought I saw that on there.
Her and Matt Fraction actually work on the series.
Yeah, Matt Fraction's been working on it from day one, but that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Whether in Detective Comics or in Godzilla and Monarch, she's pulling out all the stops.
Oh, sound off. But yeah, it was an awesome fight. It looked like Clifton Collins Jr. Is that his name? The Apex guy who's been running around, who pulled up on the beach to go extract the egg from Titan X. Looks like he ate an atomic breath in this episode.
Yeah, it did. It did.
He got evicted for trespassing on the beach. Golly.
Exactly. We got the big Godzilla tail swing too.
Yeah. And Kentaro, I forgot about Kentaro. What do y'all think he's up to? So
I don't know. Are they trying to play him as like he is now with Apex, or are they trying to play it like he's getting in with Apex to then come back to Monarch? I don't know.
I don't know what his.
I don't really know.
What to say? He's kind of been a broken guy the whole time here. Like from season 1, like he was strongly affected by like the way his dad handled his family. Then his girlfriend and him kind of, relationships are not a thing in this show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and they are, but if anyone ever talks about the term toxic relationship, like this show embodies it, like all different versions of it and stuff. But I think a lot of his decision was made out of spite. Like he's just not happy. But working with Apex, Walter Simmons' daughter, I thought was crazy. Yeah, this picture, like you. So Mr. Goji here is a great account. I'll follow this account, but this picture encapsulates it all. You have Keiko and Kate sitting together on one side with that gap in the seat between them and Kentaro, who's looking away. Titan X is quick.
I'd say it almost looks like it disappears there.
Right under the heat ray.
I mean, that was a great fight. But at the end, like, I mean, I love Godzilla. I would take him in a fight. But if they are trying to get to wherever they're taking the egg, I mean, Titan X is getting there before Godzilla. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I do know that from some of the stuff that we've seen, there's another fight that involves Kong coming up too in broad daylight. That means it has to take place on Skull Island. I'm assuming that's where this egg is going back to. Remember, season 1 ended with the big stinger that Apex has the facility set up on Skull Island. We started on Skull Island here. Apex currently, their headquarters has a bunch of like creatures running around it. They just got Ocean 11. So I'm thinking that they might be taking this egg back to an outpost on Skull Island is my guess. Just off the top of my head.
The backup Skull Island that they never kind of like. There's always another Jurassic Park island that's never been used before.
He's diversifying his portfolio to include Apex stocks. Exactly. And before Bill Randa shows back up, dude, I was starting to think that too.
I know.
Starting to think that they might pull a mulligan. So we kind of touched on it last week, like, and we asked, like, do y'all think they're going to save Hero? Do you think they're going to use the Access Monday to potentially save Hero? Because they reinforced the whole idea that whole scene, that flashback scene that opened last week's episode with Hero and Kentaro talking on Skull Island, him just letting Ken know that he had visited Access Monday. Like, there's no reason for them to share that with us unless it comes to play later. And it did influence Kentaro's decision to help Apex, but for why? Like they all want to save Hero, but that's obviously not their objective right now. They don't think that they can go back and get him out of there, but all of the needed plot threads are there to pull it off. Do you think that, one, they're going to save Hero? Like, do y'all feel any differently about that? And 2, do you think possibly saving Bill Randa is in the cards for this show? Like, not intentionally per se, but do you think Bill Randa coming back could happen?
Go ahead, Paul.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think Bill Randa could come back. The way that they've set things up, there is no character anywhere that could not make another appearance because of the attributes of Access Monday.
100%.
I think that both could come back. I don't know if both will, though, to be honest with you.
That's where I'm at.
I think they'll be asking quite a bit.
Yeah. And like my thoughts on it, I'm trying to like look at it through the lens of not necessarily like what are they going to do in terms of like what makes sense for the storyline versus what makes sense for the production, because this show is working for Apple, and for it to work, I mean, it's not crazy to kill off characters and bring in new characters, but in terms of MonsterVerse lore, Bill Randa has become more important than he ever was meant to be when they first wrote this character for Kong Skull Island all those years ago, when they had John Goodman come in and play him, just to be the guy who knew about all this stuff and to take the team to Skull Island. Now you have a whole show dedicated to his legacy, but
Right.
he's a dead character before it started.
How about this for a theory? Bill Randa comes back, but Lee Shaw dies. Because again, if you're talking about production,
Yeah,
Kurt Russell, it's got to cost a lot to get Kurt Russell to come back, for these seasons.
it's
And
only
maybe
going
he's
to get
committed
more
to do it with
expensive.
exactly. So could they use Kurt Russell for a couple of seasons to set up everything that's going on, and then he has his big death scene at the end, and here's Bill Randa, and now Bill Randa can carry on.
Dies to save Bill, because we got that episode last week, which I still think is one of the most like emotional gut punching episodes I've seen, when he's talking to himself and he says, "This is the moment, Lee. This is where we let her go."
Mhm.
Yeah.
And part of letting her go is not being part of the problem, and
Mhm.
getting Bill back just kind of gets the family back together.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. And if they want to save money, they definitely
Yeah.
should get rid of Kurt Russell.
Get this kid back from Workaholics versus Kurt Russell, who's about to catch an Emmy nomination for the Madison.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to save money, that's what they need to do. But of course, I'd love for him to stay.
Oh, I would too.
And they could keep Wyatt. That would be a little bit
Wyatt's
cheaper. And that's such an interesting thing about this show, is the fact that like there's these different time era versions of these characters that you can intermingle with the cast.
Yeah, and they can always bring him back later in like a flashback too.
Axis Monday is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What would you rank this episode?
8.5.
I was going to say the same thing.
I gave the sucker a 9.5 because I'm super biased and I saw Godzilla. It was a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a minute since I've seen Godzilla for sure, and it was great to see him.
Yeah, do you think the build up worked? The payoff for y'all when you saw him inhale that atomic breath?
I mean, and you knew what was coming because it was like going up his back, and it did, because they'd alluded to it for a while, and we know that the fight's not over. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to see more, of course, but that's what they want for, as a viewer, leaving them wanting more.
You think holding him back this long helped or hurt the show at this point? Now that he's had an episode, not before, but now that he's had the episode, do you think the people are like, oh, they're not showing Godzilla enough in a show about the entire universe and not Godzilla? It's not called Godzilla, Legacy of Monsters, called Monarch. But I know that doesn't mean anything for a lot of people. They just
and he's got to be front and center in the rest of the episodes, I think, with the episode 10 being all three of them, like you said, Kong and Godzilla and Titan X.
Yeah, and I'm still of the mindset that Kong and Godzilla cannot share screen time, because they didn't make their official meeting until after this in Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Godzilla quite a bit. It felt like, at least in season 1, and really haven't seen him that much in season 2. So we need to see more of him for sure. Going.
I'm looking for the next week's episode of Daredevil, where it just cuts to and says somewhere in the South Pacific, and you see Jessica Jones waking up underwater.
Yeah, just her eye open.
Just the eye open. Oh man. Joe says Kurt is like Sam Jackson. He's on a mission to be in all the movies and TV shows. Yeah, good stuff, man. I'm super hyped for Thursdays every week. What's funny is, despite this show coming on at 9 o'clock every episode, me and Finn have parked it up on the couch, grabbed his blanket and some pillows, and I'm like, dude, you got to lay down if you want to watch it. We're not going to be up XYZ. We're not going to, you're going to be in bed mode if you want to stay up and watch it. But Thursday night, Kyle was off for the evening shift. She worked day shift, so she does her whole thing, bed routine, all that. Gets him in bed, gets something playing, and it's about like 5 minutes before 9. I go and fire up Apple TV and stuff. And right as she sits down on the couch, I said, I'm sorry to interrupt your evening. And I just walk back in the back and I come back with Finn and just park. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's Thursday. She goes, oh my God. Like we monster verse it on Thursday. It was super cool. So what else we got? What other notable what's and huns from the week? I've read a lot of back reading this week. Now I'm not 100% caught up, and I forget what day. I think I did it on Tuesday, but I put a lot of them away. But I still got like a stack of stuff where I was playing catch up reading from the past few weeks.
There was a trailer for something that came out recently, and I was going to talk about it, but now I forgot.
Well, there was the Doomsday trailer that showed at Cinecon, but it hasn't been shown anywhere else.
Yeah, Rob Liefeld was there. He watched it and he did a whole quick little video on social media right after play by play what happened in the trailer. Mike said he watched Avatar 3 and Tron Ares yesterday and loved both. Nice.
Music to Mark's ears.
Mm-hmm. They're both really good. Steve said,
I'm trying to figure out. Oh, the Fokker in-law came out.
Yeah.
It looks
I still
really
haven't
good.
watched that trailer. Damn.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It looks
Was that
amazing.
Gwyneth Paltrow in the trailer?
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande.
Oh, is she playing one of his daughters?
No,
She
daughter-in-law.
plays the girlfriend of Ben Stiller's son, right?
Which is
Okay.
Jimmy Olsen from
Right.
Superman.
Who is not related to Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And he's also his son.
Right.
Yeah, it looks incredible. Like I have to go see it in person.
And they did a whole thing with the thing that they do with the lie detector, right? With her.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers. Me and my brother went and saw Meet the Parents in theaters when it came out. Can't remember if we saw Meet the Fockers together or not. Both of those are movies I've watched countless times. Dustin Hoffman was great in Meet the Fockers. Is there any of the other characters, Meryl Streep or Dustin Hoffman back?
You know, I didn't see them in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't think they.
It was mostly Ariana Grande, De Niro,
right.
Stiller,
Ben Stiller, right? Yeah.
and then the son. That was like, and his wife, of course, the wife in the movie. I forgot her name. But there was something else though that came out this week, and then I forgot. Maybe I need to go back through the Burke fam chat. But there's something else I was going to ask you about. Not Philip. Dana Warren Johnson coming to Heroes.
Yeah, that's kind of an every year one. What legitimately surprised me was last week I saw Nick Dragotta's name on the list, and then Scott Snyder getting confirmed today, added to the list.
Yep, he is. He's on the list.
Darren Johnson is doing a power bomb, black and white.
I'm fully happy with the full color version.
Mm.
But I'm very excited about the Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta thing. I intend on taking my absolute Batman #1, one of many of them, getting it double signed and graded, and then selling it for $500. And then once I do, I'm going to take that $500 and spend $100 of it to buy another raw copy, and I'm going to keep the profit.
There you go.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do none of that. I'm probably not even going to get it signed. Super cool that they're coming though. I'm just not standing in a line. Like, I know that sounds weird for some people. Like I'm
definitely going to stand in a line to see him.
They might let you stand in line for me. Then I'll just give you my book. Because you got to think, for one, like I'm going to use a cop out here. For one, I got a booth I'll have to be at for a good part of the
that's true.
the day and stuff. So I might have to find, if I want something signed, I might get a line stander anyways. Because before everything kicks off, depending on the way that they do their signing scheduling, some people are just at their booth all the time. Some people have a time of day that they'll be at their booth for stuff. But I'll be able to go say hey and shake their hands and like let them know I appreciate their work, XYZ. But dude, even if I was just a regular attendee, it's very rare that I'm about to stand in a long line for anything. Not when there's so many different creators there doing different things. Like I'm happy with just saying hey to someone, appreciate your work, blah blah blah.
Right.
But I can't stand in lines like that. I get my brain's weird. It goes into panic mode, like fight or flight. I'm like, I gotta get out of here or I have to punch someone in the face. And you can't do that there. So I'm just like, I gotta get out of here. Why is there a skeleton in Meet the Fockers? She looked like she had a little bit. She looked a little bit better than she did in the promotional stuff for Wicked.
So
Ariana Grande looks better in Wicked than she looked in the. When I say better, I mean healthy.
Yeah.
Are you body shaming? Yes, I would do it for literally anybody in the world. Like if you can look at a hungry person and say, "Oh my gosh, send them 5 cents a month." We need to send Ariana Grande 5 cents a month, but it looks like those nickels have added up. They've given her like a little bit of inshore or something, but she's a very petite person forever and always. But she looked, hanging out with Cynthia is literally soul sucking for that woman. Like whenever they do the promo things for Wicked, she visibly looks like she's not well. Like she didn't look like that in the trailer. Wonka 2. An animated Wonka film, Top Gun 3, the animated Wonka film starring Taika Waititi as Wonka. Looked a little odd. Looks like you can. He looked like he was just wearing the animated character of him. Looked like just wearing modern clothes. He didn't look like he was dressed as Wonka in the poster I saw. Looked like just like a normal person looking back at the factory. Top Gun 3, moving forward. Demolition Man 2, I'm in. Jumanji Open World, Thomas Crown Affair remake, Into the Spider-Verse 3, thinking that was all that dropped.
It'd be funny if in Wonka 2 they make Wonka go to the opera.
Why?
Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is your penance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! I'm still trying to figure out what I was gonna talk about.
Yeah, none of these has sparked it.
None of it has. I'm still.
That's crazy. And it was a movie.
I thought it was a TV show. Actually, I could be wrong.
It wasn't the Man on Fire thing, was it?
No, I don't remember.
Well, let me ask you this.
You guys were talking, and like it came to me, and I was like, "Oh, I need to say something about it," but I didn't want to change the subject, so I just waited, and then I forgot. Don't know.
Was it DC related? Did we get anything from any new stuff from Lanterns? Maybe.
No, it was a trailer for Clayface. Was there?
Oh, yes, it is DC related. Static is confirmed for movies.
Yes.
Thank you for figuring it out.
Confirmed might be.
I was about to say
confirmed is a loose definition of.
Sure.
Let me take you back to
that it has been confirmed that we're getting a Static show.
And that is in development.
So, Steve, let me take you back 6 years to a live stream. The first one me and Paul did together that's heavily demonetized for copyrights left and right. But it's when DC premiered their Fandom event online. And during this 2.5 hour spectacular event that me and Paul were hanging out here watching and reacting to live, we watched like a good 20-minute segment of production people, creatives, Denise Cohen himself, all talking about how Static is in development and being made into a movie and blah, blah, blah. And here we are today, 6 years later, making that same announcement without those people saying a word about it. It's just
right.
So like Paul put it in the Legion chat when I shared that in there. He goes, "Oh yeah, it'll release the same day as the new Spawn movie." Like kind of jokingly how this it's one of those things. And we talked about in that chat a little bit. It seems like the biggest misstep for DC in an era where you have these studios that really push the diversity, equity, inclusion stuff, and they want to race swap characters or gender swap characters, but they have characters like Miles. That's been a huge success and it hit. DC has Static that has a built-in fan base, that has 52 episode television show that a lot of people that are prime age spenders grew up watching, multiple toys out there and stuff. Like every McFarlane figure he drops sells out. Like he's got a built-in, and he's like the right age. He's a diversity character that you're not reimagining anything. He comes with an entire universe of supporting cast characters, but he's tied up in legal limbo. He could be DC's counterbalance to Miles, like to target the same.
Is it because of the milestone stuff?
Yeah, like they had to break their back just to get that other history, the Milestone universe.
Yeah, well, because I think there was like a funding issue with the characters, is what's going on.
They're all owned by different people. DC doesn't solely own the rights to them.
Yeah, and apparently, like the McDuffie estate, whatever, is not really keen on doing a lot of stuff. Apparently,
and that's the problem. Dwayne McDuffie was the true mastermind behind all this. He's passed away now.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an issue with Black Lightning in like the Justice League Super Friends show, so they made like another character just like him because of licensing issues.
Mm-hmm.
There, I think the family are trying to get a Siegel Schuster sweetheart deal, which isn't crazy to want something like that, but it's crazy to want something like that because no other character in all of comics has one of those, and there's literally only one Superman.
I mean, and even like the Batman stuff with Bill Finger's family, like that had to be fought for forever.
Yeah, and that, in my opinion, that's a little bit different because the industry was wildly different back then, and like hiring ghostwriters was not weird to do. Hiring like fill-in people that was like, so back like today that would be crazy to think, but back then that's just normal because these aren't world-changing characters and stuff like that. So I think that they need to be properly recognized and fixed moving forward, kind of thing, added to a list of royalties and stuff like that. But it gets a little, it definitely gets nuanced. It most certainly does. But what's not okay is Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster ever being hungry or their family ever needing to want.
Yeah, I agree.
And when it comes down to it,
they sold the rights for $200 or something like that.
When it comes down to it, I really don't care how much Jerry Robinson did. I don't care how much Bill Finger did. I appreciate all of them, but their services would never be needed if it wasn't for Bob Kane ripping off other people in it while wearing an ascot. So there's that. Like, I don't care. He's got all of his faults. Like all of these people have faults. They're humans. But without that person, it
Bob
doesn't
Kane
happen.
is like the biggest douchebag of all of us. Let's be honest. He
wears an ascot, bro. He's like if was it Fred from Scooby-Doo was the bad guy?
Yeah. He was literally trying to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, literally, yeah. You had me at ascot. Cowabunga Legion. Dude, that's a fun conversation to have, is about like the creator rights and stuff for these older characters.
Yeah, and although the difference between Siegel and Schuster were fighting against DC, the difference is Bill Finger is fighting against. This is two creators. One creator, saying, it's me.
Really, three, because it's him, Bill, and Jerry. Anyone that claimed like, oh, this is great, I'm glad it's working out good, I helped make this character. No, you didn't. I did it. I did it all. Like Bob was a douchebag, bro.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Bob had all the connections. Like if it wasn't for Bob, I mean, Bill would have gotten him.
Bro, as soon as he got his first paycheck, he immediately peeled off a percentage, had Bill do all the work, and Jerry start creating characters. And as soon as they opened their mouth, he called them liars, like in public. Like Jerry created the Joker. Bill, Bob's like, no, you didn't. He's like, bro, I literally drew him on this actual, like this isn't accurate, but it's something as funny. He's like, bro, I drew the first sketch attempt of him on a newspaper. The newspaper's dated, my dude. Like, it was like the evidence is clear. Jerry drew him first. Like, but it's also funny to me. I mean, they're all passed on now, and like I said, the industry was different. But no, but hey, dude, I'm telling you, I like him. He's a douchebag, but I think it's
major douchebag.
Yeah, Yeah, he's the only capitalist Mark doesn't like. I like him, but the thing is, I also like Bill Finger and Jerry Robinson, and I think that capitalism requires fair play. Not everyone operates properly in that. Some people, Bob tries to take advantage of it. I don't like dishonest people. I don't like Bob Kane being dishonest. And I don't like Roy Thomas being dishonest either. If you want to take it up a few generations, I think he's got to be careful not to. He comes off Bob Kane-ish to me, like wanting to just put his name on everything and this. Like, bro, chill out. You were the editor on a book, like that. You didn't have any. No. I don't care if you gave notes after the fact or no. That
I think it's a little bit like everyone saying that Stan Lee created every single Marvel character ever created.
oh, it's because again, time era. He was the face. He was meant to be the face.
Yeah,
the voice.
I get it. I'm just
That
saying,
didn't
like
want to
everyone
do
thinks that, like he created every character, and he totally did not.
The problem comes in is after the fact, when like the cards are all on the table and time goes by and you're talking back on history. There's a difference between him in real time promoting this stuff, like doing his job to not like, you don't want attention on you. Fine. I'll make sure that we're just promoting the book. That's one thing. But speaking historically about your work with this giant without whom this stuff wouldn't exist, that's when the problem comes in. Or pretending like the X-Men are not a ripoff of the Doom Patrol, or pretending like Fantastic Four is not a ripoff of Challengers of the Unknown. Like everything that man did was a direct down to the taglines on the issue number ones, direct ripoff of DC. But none of that matters. It's because you did it better in a way that resonated more. So it doesn't, but again, it's all just fun. They're all just comic books at the end of the day. But
yeah,
Roy Thomas created every character and founded Wendy's. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
He's trying to take it from Dave. Back when Dave was starting to talk about Wendy's, he wanted to do round burgers. I said no, they will be square.
I came up with the ponytails.
Yeah. Dave wanted to call them Frozens. I said no, they'll be Frosties.
Mm-hmm.
And they announced a GOT movie and show coming. That's what Paul was talking about at the beginning there. The other thing, Paul, did you see the big Star Trek announcement?
Which Star Trek announcement would that be, Mark?
The one that I announced here 5 months ago.
I did see that.
So 5 months ago, before Starfleet Academy dropped, we were talking about the marketing for it. I think that either the poster had just came out for it or the first trailer. I don't think the trailer had came out yet, but we were talking about the poster that dropped. And this was literally 5 months ago. I had to go back and check when it was. And talking about how, like just on the face value, me not being like a diehard Trekkie fan, really loving the J.J. Abrams stuff. I said the Starfleet Academy thing to me seems like a terrible idea. It just doesn't seem like a smart move for such a large IP. Paramount has specific IPs it works with, just like Disney does. And I thought that because we're now under new management, that Paramount was bought by and merged with Skydance with David Ellison, that if it was me, and I used the comparison to Neil Adams coming to work at DC. He walks in and he says, where's Superman? What do you mean he's not here? You know what I mean? Like, if I was David Ellison, I'd walk in and immediately say, these Star Trek TV shows, cancel them all. Every single one of them, no exception. Go across the hall to the movie development wing and say, start me a Star Trek franchise right now for a new audience. Big budget, motion picture. That's what we're doing here. And I got a little pushback from AR saying, like, well, we got Brave New Worlds doing this and this. And I said, none of that matters. Because no matter how many people are enjoying it, it's not enough to justify it. At the end of the day, it could be Avatar. And if not enough people go watch it, it doesn't matter how good it is. You got to do something else. And the fact that they've had this franchise and we haven't had a theatrical Star Trek release since Beyond is just, it seems common sense to me. So I said that I predicted that when season 1 aired that they would cancel it, they would announce it, Like, I think I predicted after episode 1, they would wait for it to start airing. They waited till right before the season finale. So I was a few episodes off that they would cancel and announce a movie universe. So they canceled it. I was a couple episodes off of when they do that. And then now a couple weeks after it, they announced that they are in fact doing that, shifting away from all of the existing television stuff. They're canceling it all and going to build a movie universe and go from there. So we're getting a whole fresh, the Kurtzman era of Star Trek is over. And right now they're looking at having to battle with Kurtzman over getting him out the door now, because apparently he's contracted for this or that, and he's a bitter person and he's mad.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that there should always be a pipeline of Star Trek movies that come through, kind of like Mission Impossible, kind of whatever it happens to be. They are, for the most part, I think, made for the big screen.
At this point, they didn't start that way, but at this point.
But I also do believe that a good television series could coexist with a movie, with the movie franchise.
Yeah, 1000% fully. Dude, we just got done talking about Monarch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, in this day and age, I think that a strong IP will always have both the MCU, the DCU, the MonsterVerse, and that's not it. I mean, there's more. Like, they'd get little spin-off TV shows and stuff. But in order to make Star Trek a successful IP again, it has to start over. They attempted to do it with the Kelvin universe, but just that was my perspective to it. Is like the Paramount Plus era. It's too much. It's almost like DC 1983. It's too much for an entry level. It's like X-Men 2026. It's too much for an entry level viewer. You can't really gain too many new fans at a good rate. That was my angle to it all.
It's funny you say that, because I read an article just yesterday, I think it was, about how one of the big things coming out of the last season of Picard was the show Star Trek Legacy that supposedly they were going to do.
That's what I kept hearing about too.
And that was basically, it was 7 of 9. It was Picard's son. It would have people from the Next Generation in it. And then, they would basically be, in a new thing. And apparently Kurtzman and Paramount liked it, but Kurtzman decided to go with Legacy. It's with Starfleet Academy instead.
And we all know why.
Yeah, exactly. And now
Kurtzman makes it public, and that's I think that's the, like, you kind of shot yourself in the foot kind of thing, because you're not. I felt like, because like I started doing a little bit of like familiarizing myself with the behind the scenes stuff and the showrunners, and it seems like his focus wasn't on listening to the fan stuff, because the Legacy thing, it seemed like there's a ton of talk about it and has been for a long time, especially on X. That's dude, I've always kind of like, I barely fiddled with X. I didn't even have an X account until a couple years ago, and I barely fiddled with it, but I've come to realize like there's a reason why it's the largest social media platform. It's truly where actual news is at. Like all announcements, like it's insane how much, like, I thought Instagram was like, oh, I can just read it there. You really can't. Like some stuff gets shared over, but the amount of stuff that you find on X is, and it's not hard to find, but that Legacy thing, like, that's been talked about for years. People have been wanting it. And the fact that he would say, no, we're going to do this instead. And then at the same time, you can listen to him in countless conversations and interviews state out of his own mouth that making Star Trek isn't his primary goal. It's to draw attention to these specific real world, like some of them hot topic thing and stuff like that, which that's all well and good, but it shouldn't supersede stewarding a fandom and an IP kind of thing. And I think that's one of you shot yourself in the foot. You now lost your opportunity to draw that attention because you've lost the reins. Like, if you would have focused on the reins, as Star Trek has always been, by some measure of the word woke, it has always pushed the social media, the social needle. And like the first
Roddenberry was very open about that before it even was a word.
Yes, it's always been that. And this is where me and Paul have talked about this before. Like, the difference between woke and being smart social commentary is quality, is talent. I don't think Kurtzman has the talents to balance those two things. He's too ham-fisted on one of them, and he lost track of the other somewhere along the way. But Star Trek should definitely be that future utopia thing. This is what could be, but he's just trying to be reactionary, and he's He's using a TV show and a lot of millions of dollars to try to do gotcha slam dunks on like a percentage of the viewership and the online population of people that he doesn't agree with. And that's not smart to do for anybody. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and if anybody's thinking that, maybe they'll change their mind, well, they tore down all the sets, so it would be
Yeah, they're non-existent
to try to do anything more with any of the TV shows.
Yeah, people are taking photos from the bridge of the Athena, and it's just an open warehouse. Like,
yep.
Gee.
In fact, they're having an auction. I think they're somewhere online. They're having some sort of an auction to actually.
Well, we know where AR is.
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't be the first time he's made it to an auction of set pieces and stuff.
Yeah, and that's happened before. I mean, back in the 60s, the Batman series with Adam West, NBC had committed to actually doing a 4th season, but they had already torn down the sets.
Of which one?
The Adam West Batman series.
Mm.
NBC was going to do a 4th season, but they had already torn down the sets. So like, we're not building the sets again.
like it would have cost much.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me some cardboard and some pink spray paint. Right. We need a set stat.
Yeah. Funny. I mean, the things that went on that show, just to me, they didn't have enough money one time to finish an episode, so they did the fight scene in the dark.
Yeah. Dude, that show was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited for where the future of Star Trek goes. I'm so interested to go through and watch Brave New Worlds. I saw some footage from that, some big battle at the end with like the zombie planet with all these things flying through space and them trying to find a way to jam their signals and stuff. It looks cool. Having Spock and Uhura on there and stuff is just
pound for pound for me. Strange New Worlds is the best series. Picard season 3 has some of the best episodes, I think, probably. But pound for pound, Strange New Worlds is the best of the series that's out, not including Lower Decks. Lower Decks is in a whole different category as like a comedy type thing.
Sledge says, I think people are starting to realize that loud, overrepresented basement dwellers on X don't have the money to support what they cry about. That can go like for a lot of people. Now, I will have to update you, Sledge, because I'm going to go out on a limb and assume the people you're referring to aren't really on X as much as they've all ran and hid on Blue Sky and Threads, which I'm not on Blue Sky. You will never find me on Blue Sky. And from time to time, I go over to Threads just to laugh because it is the most insane, toxic, bang your head against the wall, ridiculous social media platform I even have access to.
I've never been on there.
And I would also argue that no one group has the right to claim the overrepresented basement dwellers.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too, because as a card carrying Snyder member, I literally felt that comment toward me to a degree. You know what I mean? If there isn't a better way to describe a lot of the diehard Snyder fans online right now, it is overrepresented basement dwellers. And that's coming from a Snyder fan. But man, the Snyder fan conversation really makes Snyder fans look bad. They don't do it any favors, that's for sure. Interesting stuff though. Who knows how long it'll take to get a movie? Hopefully they speed run it all. I'm sure, dude. Just think of how many fantastic ideas are out there at any given time. I mean, at any given time, there's got to be 100 different people ready to sell you their script that they don't already bought it, and it's just sitting in a file somewhere. Hey, I'm a Snyder fan, but exactly, Mike. You get me. Like it's rough. To be honest, I enjoyed Picard, but the rest it just felt. Hate to say it, but not too much like watching The Acolyte. In other words, plain boring. Yeah, and I heard Picard season 1 and 2 was some of the worst Paramount era Star Trek stuff, but season 3 was one of the best Paramount era Star Trek stuff. We got screenshots from the new Scooby-Doo Netflix show. Oh, cool. Oh, Coyote versus Acme. Got the first teaser for that. The movie poster for that, as well as the coyote up in the air falling. It's super short. It's just the classic Wile E. Coyote, like run off the cliff up in the air, realize you have no ground under you, and falls out of camera sight. And then you have like a wrecking ball swinging that says Coyote versus Acme on it. But yeah, That's super cool to see that that's getting released. So that's good stuff right there. I'm excited about that. Not one that I'll probably go see in the theater unless it's just one of those like perfectly timed things and take the kids, but I'd be interested to watch it on Max when it releases. Yep. Y'all got anything else you want to hit on? Want to look at some of these books from the past couple of weeks? Speed through some of these.
Sure.
Go ahead.
These are all kind of weeks old though. So some
My
of
books
these
come in on Wednesday.
How many weeks are you arriving for you?
That's a good question.
Are you on a specific schedule, like mail once a month, mail twice a month?
Once a month or once every 4 to 6 weeks, typically. I have not gotten Superman 36 to answer your question. I think that's the first, hold on. I guess I can go back and look.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first Absolute Flash 13, Titans 33, Deathstroke 1, Lobo 1 is the first week that I did not get books.
Okay. So you're 4 weeks. You have a 4-week lot coming to you then, or potentially a 5. So Skull was this one? Escape to Skull Island. So the Monsterverse has an animated component to it as well, just like the MCU and the DCU, just like Star Trek has movies, TV shows, animated. But on Netflix, it's a 6-issue mini limited series that takes place between Skull Island and Godzilla versus Kong. But this just kind of follows the team that are there. It's kind of like a younger audience thing to a degree, but Kong doing some stuff there. Red Coat, issue number 17, with Benedict Arnold being back and Albert Einstein and Simon having to deal with the dynamic of potentially working together and the lack of trust for Arnold is explored more in there. This one was really a standout one for me. Have you read this yet, Paul?
Yeah, like that wasn't this week. That was last week, I believe, right?
Correct. A lot of these are just mixed over the last 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a standout book for me, just as an actual comic. So we talked about how this Mark Spears Monsters thing, I'm really enjoying it, but he's not a seasoned writer when you start reading Monsters, which came out a few years ago. It's his first thing he wrote, but you can see his progression as you go, especially when you read his second series called Monster and a Wolf. It's just a 3-issue mini. You can see a huge improvement in it. And then in this will be the third book. It's all part of the one big story, but this was incredible. This was well structured. It did a lot to sharpen up the overall universe stuff. It's such a heartfelt callback too, because his kid dies earlier in the series, and pretty much his mind is saved in this android body, which he then gets a little bit of sentience and realizes he has the opportunity to be the superhero he read about in comics. And Mark Spears does a lot of not fourth wall breaking, but a lot of talking to the audience, in a very creative way in here, calling out
himself.
Calling out himself in great ways, like people in comic shops arguing over the quality of Mark Spears. Oh, I don't understand why people like his art. Oh, his writing sucks and this and that. But it's really cool. I went ahead and read this. It wasn't
even though it's not Christmas.
Yeah. I wanted to get out of the stack. So, and it wasn't much of a Christmas issue as much as it was a Christmas cover. So I'm super glad I read it. Raina having crashed, Roland still missing. Raina doesn't have her full memory. So the family actually has their murderous sister with them looking for Roland and explaining to her what's going on without adding in the part you're trying to kill us all.
Yeah. Well, you got to read that if you're going to be before you get into the Unbelievables. So,
yeah. Issue 36 of Department of Truth touches a little bit on those megachurch televangelists. That's the little angle of that one. Punisher number 2, Jigsaw is trying to get a hold of some folks and some stuff. Frank's trying to get the implant out of his head. Him and Micro hold blackmail a doctor to go give him some scans and stuff, and it looks like there's not a physical implant in his head, and it's something that Frank has to overcome himself. Wonder Woman 32, absolutely killer, phenomenal issue. Wonder Woman and Trinity are making a play for making their play to go rescue somebody, while the matriarch is sitting down having an interview with someone. So you get a lot of context to the matriarch, bridging some gap because this is in the future at this point, this story.
Incredible final page.
Yeah.
It's an incredible final page.
Yeah, so Wonder Woman and Trinity sneak on to Paradise Island to go rescue what we're led to believe could be Superman, but they show up, open the door, and they're going to get Trevor. Trevor's alive. Not sure how that happened. Action Comics 1097.
Mhm.
Super fun issue, the second issue in the Reign of Superboy era, which this is a Superboy comic anyways. But our time displaced heroes are fighting with young Kal-El. You get some fun dynamic between them, trying not to spoil the future in front of him and the family. I read this, Paul. This was incredible.
Mhm.
The 50th issue.
And more on art again too. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the second story wasn't as strong with the sidekicks, but the one with what's his name, the Dr. Dream, whoever from the Dreamscape, Dr. Destiny from what was the name of that Halloween event they did in the summertime?
Night something, wasn't it?
Night Terror. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was really, really cool. Lobo issue 2, way better than issue 1 even. And issue 1 was a blast. You get a major slugfest between Aquaman and Lobo in this. It kind of aligns with what's happening in Aquaman, taking out into the cosmos. The artwork is just absolutely killer. Scotty Young gets this character through and through. I think full-heartedly, like we talked about earlier, it's going to be one of those books that has different mileage for people. Like you're going to find out people are a fan of the idea of Lobo. Let's see if you're a fan of the book of Lobo. It's a lot.
And was it a little bit meta that two characters played by Jason Momoa are fighting each other?
Yeah, very much so. I like the outcome of the fight. I like the way that played out for sure. Because Lobo is a alpha level fisticuffer in the DC universe, but so is Arthur. And I like the way that they played it out. I'll just leave it at that. I'll let people read it and see.
I had the first 2 issues coming to me.
Yeah. This story arc kind of is a quick one with Lobo being the hired to bounty hunt for reality TV. And that was fun, little angle to there. So we'll see where it goes next. But it looks like it's going to be a blast of a book. I will say issue 2 of Deathstroke the Terminator, I enjoyed issue 1, gave it about a 7.5, I think, but like Slade's voice just was different. Like the way Tony Fleece's like his inner dialogue of who Slade is or what he sounds like is different than mine, which is not unusual when you're changing writers and stuff. This one was on par. I felt like this one was really on par. This was probably the most hard-hitting book of the week. It was relentless. Slade like barely alive, continuing to take more damage and not slowing down and taking everybody with him. Like this was super cool. You've got a shadow player on his back, hitting all of his assets, all of his safe houses, all of his everything, taking everything from him. We don't know why yet. We just know that that's what's happening. And he's just barely, he runs for cover, gets somewhere to recoup and figure out what's going on just to be bamboozled at that location. And you open your safe to get your rainy day resources that no one else knows about, and it's empty. And next thing you know, armies on top of you, just one thing after the other. And it was wicked cool. So I'm looking forward to answers and writing it out. Very, very happy with that. Superman Unlimited 12. This was kind of cute, I guess. John Kent of the present is with John Kent of the past. And he brings him the only place he knows where to bring him, to his mom. It's a boy out of time, out of place. This is the time era of his life where he would be chained up in a volcano, but he's not. So in order not to freak him out or reveal too much, he takes him to his mom, who's happy to see him, understands that this is a different John and everything. And when they arrived there, Batman and Damian were hanging out talking to Lois about like the, Clark will be back kind of conversation. And we get this little scene where Damian, his best friend and Batman are leaving, and Damian looks back at him because he just doesn't feel right about this whole thing. And he sees that John reaches out for Crypto, and Crypto kind of growls at him. And Damian, it cuts to his eyes squinting like, I tracked that. That's not John. So something's off. And Damian caught it.
And to the point at the very end, he's actually making kryptonite batarangs.
Yeah. Damian and Bruce both are just sitting there like, yep, we better get ready. And they're sitting there hammering out kryptonite battering rings. Like, oh, goodness. And the last one of the week is definitely the most polarizing book of the week. Steve put out a whole video on this already, right?
Absolute Batman 19. The preview hit 600 views for me,
Oh,
which is a decent, decent for my channel. The review didn't do as well, but that's fine.
Yeah, so head over there and check that out. And then the DC Comics Deep Dive will be out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for us as well. So Paul will have a video out. Steve's got a video out. It's a very popular book. A lot happens in it. You get to see the Robins, Scarecrow, the Absolute Slade. Just all these characters. This book is packed.
Mm-hmm.
Book is packed. And then all the all the images, all the exclusives and stuff for the next issue.
Mm-hmm.
Those people were ready with those Robin exclusives, man.
I know. I'm excited for it.
And I've noticed one thing about a lot of these cover images we're seeing. It seems like a lot of them we're seeing Batman with the Robins. Like there's Batman standing on one of the mech suits with all the Robins. Look how big his axe is. It's way bigger than his chest symbol on that. Little artistic freedom. There's a ton of these. Oh, here's that image of all the breakdown of the different Robins, the suits that they have, the big mech suits, the little transformer motorcycles that work as like armored suits. Very wild stuff. I don't know how excited I am for this take on Robin or not. I'll see once we get into it and see what they do. It just seems wildly fantastical at this point. I don't know. At what point do y'all feel like this might hit we were going a little too far?
I think it's there. I think we're there.
I think we're there. Yeah. I think so too, man.
Because I think 19, it was supposed to be 53 and then it got moved up to 70. I bet this is going to hit 100 different covers, which, let's be honest, it's not really 100 different ones. It's probably more like 50 to 60 because there's a lot of trade dress and then virgins or foils as well. So
exactly,
still,
you're going to get at least 3 versions of every cover, at least
probably. And so we're probably looking more like 50 different covers, but still, that's too many.
Now, when I say too many, I'm not referring to the number of covers that we have. I'm referring to how
the concept of Absolute Batman and everything going on.
Yeah, how weird you're going to take this story. We had a Kaiju Bane already. Now we have Pacific Rim Robin. Like how far are they going to, how extreme is Absolute Batman going to go before they're like, all right, this is even crazier than an alien flying around with the dust of his planet cape. We've gone too far.
A cannibal Joker.
Yeah. Like at what point do they take like we kind of talked about it before that this almost comes off as parody almost. Like they're just having fun with it. And if you can't laugh at it, you're missing the joke. To some degree. Like there's definitely serious aspects to the story and everything. But how far can you push the envelope before people stop saying this is the greatest thing ever? And your audience turns on.
I think people are now at the point where they're saying there's too many. And I bet Scott would even tell you there's too many.
It's the same thing cool. as the actor of the moment and the movie genre of the moment. This is the comic of the moment, and like everything else, it will play out.
Yeah. It's the opposite of grounded, that's for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of cool covers for stuff. Oh man, did y'all see this?
Yeah.
We need a Robin Hood that's less Errol Flynn and more Michael Myers. Absolute Green Arrow. How many people do you think know who Errol Flynn is, Paul?
At least 2.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Since you asked the question, I'm going to assume you do.
Yeah,
I'll go with 3. I'm sure
he's from the iconic old school Robin Hood. Adventures of Robin Hood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Film.
Way back in the black and white movies and maybe even into the color movies.
It was iconic. I always felt like Neville Sinclair was filming that movie during The Rocketeer, like Dalton's character Neville Sinclair, because they're doing the dueling on the stair. There's a little staircase on the stone going up and down it when they're cutting the lines in the movie on the set. Pop said 3. Sled said 4.
Evil should have to be 5 then.
Evil, 5. So it's cool that people know who it is. I'm surprised it says we need a Robin Hood that's less Kevin Costner and more Michael Myers.
Where's Joe? Joe must know who he is too.
Probably, yeah.
You gave him an 8.0.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Absolute Green Arrow thing. I think that's going to be pretty tough. Unless they get weird with it. Oh, here it is. It's Mark Brooks. Snyder shared this one. He's like, I really love this Brooks one.
And someone tweeted today that all of the Robins are 18 or older.
So they're not kids.
Yeah, they're not kids.
We know Dick Grayson is older. He's the paramedic and stuff.
Yeah, we did know that. Yeah.
We don't know anything about any of the other ones yet. I'm more interested to see their ties to Jack Grimm than anything.
The creative team behind Absolute Batman has clarified that the Absolute Robins are not underage.
It's weird when they say it like that.
Yeah.
This makes it look like this could be Ollie because you can almost see the eyes and the forehead on this shot where it looks like zombie skin and red eyes.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that he's not actually dead like they try to show him to be in.
I think he is.
Super died.
One of the solicitations for one of the issues says that Black Canary is out looking for the Green Arrow killers. So it implies that there's more than one, and Green Arrow may be a group of people.
All we know is because we know we have the Lazarus Corp is behind a lot of the happenings inside of the Absolute Universe. So dead doesn't have to mean stay dead, especially with the Lazarus Corp being so important. But we know that Ollie's head was hollowed out, like the whole thing. So I'm thinking like he was on the phone with Roy. My first instinct is to say it's Roy, but they could definitely bring Ollie back, like avenging his own death, and he can be like this a reanimated version of himself. They'd have to figure out how he got reanimated, which isn't insane. They do a lot of tie into Ra's al Ghul and the Arrowverse stuff. So it wouldn't be far-fetched unless that was just a different person altogether that Hawkman removed their brains.
And there's only one Lazarus Pool left.
Well, that could be a lie. That could definitely be a lie. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got. Y'all got any other things to hit on?
Nope.
Nothing I can think of.
I'm gonna get ready to round up the kids, and they're hanging out with Grandma for the afternoon. Get geared up for the evening and get ready for work in the morning. Michael Myers, the guy that played Austin Powers, and the Love Guru. Intimacy, or Into Me I See.
Wow.
The Love Guru is a hilarious movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely worth watching. What do you got going up on the channel this week, Steve?
Well, I'm going to have that unboxing coming up on Wednesday for sure. And my kid won 9 giveaways and whatnot. So we might do a little whatnot unboxing video this week too. So we'll see.
Rigged.
I know. I feel like my account's going to get flagged. When you win 9 giveaways in like 5 days, I mean, it feels a little something off.
I know the adventurous Joe is swearing and cussing up a storm right now.
It's all squishies though, not comic books. So
Okay. So that's a lot of giveaways. You got to get her to tell him her secret.
okay. I don't know what she's doing. She just tells me she wins giveaways. I'm like, okay.
So it's all attached to your card and your address.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So all the labels say my name.
About that, Steve, your name's probably added to some kind of list, and the FBI is now monitoring your internet.
Probably.
After winning all these little kids.
Right.
Giveaways. You've been flagged. Paul, what do you got coming up on the channel?
Tomorrow morning, we will have, as you mentioned, at 10 o'clock, we will have DC Comics Deep Dive on Absolute Batman number 19. Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, we have Guess That Key with the Adventurous Joe. No matter what name I said on my short, it will have Adventurous Joe and Dale of Suspense. And we'll be giving away 3 of the Superman Day books.
Nice.
And also, we'll be giving away, this is World's Finest 49.
Love that
corner box foil. This is Wonder Woman 31. The Wonder Woman corner box foil. This is Bizarro Year None by cover A. Then we have a couple of Clayton Crane exclusives. This is Clayton Crane's Out of Hell T-3, the foil version. This is, for those of you who like Clayton Crane covers, this is his pet project where he actually does interiors as well.
Nice.
And then
when did that come out? I haven't even seen that before.
I'm not sure. I had somebody get it for me at MegaCon. I was
That's
going to
awesome.
get it, and then we have, this is Godzilla TMT number 4. This is the Clayton Crane exclusive as well. This is number 178 of 350.
Holy smokes.
Hell yeah.
I got his Godzilla Power Ranger exclusive he did. It was incredible.
So
he does a great job with Godzilla.
Absolutely.
Wednesday night, 9 o'clock on my channel. Again, Adventurous Joe, Dale of Suspense.
Very awesome.
There we go.
I've got this year's a little bit different for Free Comic Book Day. The actual event was in limbo for a little while with Diamond going belly up, but Free Comic Book Day was purchased by a guy in Canada, and Lunar and a handful of other publishers jumped on board, and it's continuing business as usual. But for Penguin Random House, they went a different route and decided to reinvent their own Free Comic Book Day, and they're calling it Comics Giveaway Day. What's different about that and Free Comic Book Day is literally nothing except the words on your free books. Some of them will have the iconic, recognizable Free Comic Book Day logo, and the other ones will say Comics Giveaway Day, and they're even color-coded to let you know they're kids' books, age-friendly books, or adult books, same as always. There's over 40 different titles, well over 40 different titles, and every single book available from both participating events will be listed in the video that comes out tomorrow, or if you're a channel member in the Legion tier, you have access to watch it now. And if you're not a channel member in the Legion tier, hit that join button, become a channel member. If you are a channel supporter, bump up to the Legion tier, get all the extra bonus perks, included your name on the prize wheel the first Sunday of every month. And check out that video. I'll be at ABX Comics and Games 2 Saturdays from today for Free Comic Book Day. So make plans, travel down to ABX, be there by 10 a.m. I'm talking to you, Sledge, and enjoy some free books. Though, of course, ABX will be doing the work. So they'll have all the local creators set up. It's like a mini con in the store. You'll have writers, artists, little doodad people that, the people that like to do the arts and the hearts type stuff, like the little jewelry stuff or the sticker stuff and all that. Come out, support local creatives. Michael Rushbrook, who did the Comics Curing Cancer work, he's typically there with his books and stuff and all that. So yeah. Correct. Yeah. Lunar and Penguin Random House are the people that are under each of those. This is how it's split. But yeah, it'll be fun. See y'all there. But yeah, and then my second video for the week will come out Thursday, specifically Thursday. I'll make it available for channel members Wednesday night at approximately 10 to 10:15 p.m. and then it'll release everyone else on Thursday because I pulled a Paul and bought a book and didn't tell anyone so that I can bring it to the show first.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. If Irene is coming, I'm there. Why don't you make plans to be there? Flip it around. If you're there, maybe she'll come. Maybe you being there is contingent on her being there. She's been a few times. Irene Straczynski. She was a artist for Marvel for a while and does her own stuff now. Really phenomenal creative. I got all of her stuff. But because she's like one of those indie online comic people, like they have like, she has like new stuff that comes out like twice a year or something. It's very, those people that do like their own like you know what I'm talking about, like the Comicsgate people, how like, or the indie comic creator people, like the true indie ones that kickstart all their stuff, that hang out on social media and support each other's book. Like you get like 2 issues a year if you're lucky, you know, 1 most of the time kind of thing. So who knows when her next one's comes out? I don't have a clue. But I got all of her stuff already, her art books and everything. Probably in arm's reach. No
Everything's in arm's reach for you.
Yes, I got long arms. Not long arms. So that's going to do it for today. Appreciate everybody coming hanging out. Until next time. Peace.